in Dilworth. That call was just before 11:30 last night from the 300 block of Center Avenue West.
Dilworth police would not confirm to the Valley today that it was an actual abduction. Instead, they referred us to their investigators for an update later on today. Also on Fast Track, the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension being called in to investigate the death of a man in Mayville, North Dakota. This after a standoff at his home. It all started when the Trail County Sheriff's Office, North Dakota BCI, and Homeland Security went to serve a search warrant yesterday at a house south of Mayville.
SWAT negotiators tried to get that man to come out after he barricaded himself in a room in a shop building. The 59-year-old man was pronounced dead around 6:30 last night from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. No word yet on why police were serving that search warrant. We're getting new details about that deadly shooting in Wahpeton earlier this week. Police say the victim, 40-year-old Jeremiah Maidenwald, was shot while in the driver's seat of a car, and there was a passenger in the vehicle at the time of that shooting. Police are not naming the passenger, but do say he's been interviewed several times.
Police are also telling us there were two crime scenes Monday night. Officers first responded to 11th Street North between the high school and Stearns Arena. Then they discovered the incident started a few blocks away at 11th Street and Loy Avenue, where police found several shell casings. There's no word from police yet on an arrest or even a possible suspect at this time.
6:50, let's get a check of the forecast out there, and some folks dealing with some slick roads out there. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Yeah, there are some areas where we have some flakes. We've got some areas with some fog and frost that has developed as well. If we could bring up my weather graphics behind me here so we could show you what's going on, that'd be great. We're looking at some areas that are going to be on the slick side wherever we have that fog. Here's a look outside in Fargo. You can see visibility is okay, but there is a little moisture in the air. We're at 22 degrees, pretty mild. Wind out of the north at 10 miles per hour, so it feels a little more like 11. In Moorhead, we're at 23 degrees. In Grand Forks, mostly cloudy, not too bad in Grand Forks as well. We're talking about temperatures that are in the low 20s there too. So these are two areas where we've actually seen some improvement from yesterday morning. If you're in the west, you're more likely to be experiencing some of that freezing fog still, places like Jamestown and up toward Candu. And then over to the east, we're closer to that storm system that's been missing us. So over in Minneapolis, you can see the snow stretching up I-35 rather toward Duluth. And then our counties like Otter Tail County, like Wadena County, is seeing some of that light snow showing up there, and that may continue as we go through the day today in closer proximity to this low. Eventually that'll pull away, but not until we see our conditions start to quiet down into the afternoon hours. So basically, temperature-wise, we're looking at a similar start to our day to the afternoon at the bus stop. We're looking at some low 20s. We'll have some wind out of the north. That shouldn't be too strong, but still a northerly breeze. And if you do see some moisture this morning, whether it be that freezing drizzle or that flaky activity, that should be winding down by the afternoon. Now here's a look at our 7-day planner. Tomorrow, pretty quiet to end the work week. This weekend looks pretty nice. A few more clouds on Saturday. And then Sunday will feature an increase in wind gradually through the day and a chance for some snow returning on Monday with the clipper. That'll be our next shot. But mostly things are fairly quiet, just these kind of nuisance events like we're seeing this morning with the flakes and the fog in spots.
But just a couple hours down to the south, schools already canceled or delayed in the Twin Cities area.
Yeah, that's the area taking the brunt of the storm. They've kind of been in the storm track, the storm path lately, whereas we've been a lot quieter. So they've been building up that snow. It's been quite impactful for them.
That's for sure. Okay, Lisa, thank you this morning. Homelessness is on the rise in the FM Metro, and one local organization is working to make sure the unhoused community has access to warm places to escape the cold.
An important topic this morning. The Valley Today's Nishay Taylor is live this morning at Micah's Mission in Moorhead with more information. Good morning, Nishay.
Good morning to you both. Yeah, lots of good work happening here at Micah's Mission. Right now, I am joined with Pastor Sue. She's the CEO of Churches United. Thank you so much for joining us, getting up earlier than you're used to this morning. But, talk a little bit about what the work you guys are trying to do right now as the need grows this winter for the homeless community.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we're just doing everything we can to allow as many people as possible to access the shelter that they need. Hot Meals, our Micah's Mission Community Center, is now open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. We had to be closed for a while during COVID, so we're glad to be open again. And then very exciting for us, we will break ground on the Silver Linings Apartments in March, and those will be 36 units of permanent supportive housing for seniors 55 and older, which is one of the fastest growing segments of the homeless population.
Why do you think that age group may be the fastest growing?
Well, I think there's vulnerabilities there, right? And so folks who haven't had an opportunity to work in an industry where they were able to save for retirement, where there was a 401k, there are a lot of folks who are just kind of barely making it, and then there's some catastrophe that happens and they lose their housing pretty often. And so it's, there's just kind of a fine line, I think, for a lot of us between being pretty stable and having a real vulnerability to losing housing. And so particularly for that older population, we really felt the need to do something in that particular area.
All right, thank you so much, Pastor Sue. That's great information there. So that means you have to remember everyone, all age groups, correct? All right, well, thank you so much, Pastor Sue. So we'll continue to have much more on how Churches United and Micah's mission is continuing to help the homeless community coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Reporting live in Moorhead, Nishay Taylor, Valley News Live.
All right, a great way to give back and an important topic this winter. Thank you, Nishay. 2 people being treated for serious injuries after a house explosion in Mandan. It happened yesterday morning on the city's north side. 2 neighbors ran inside and got the man and a woman out. We have not yet heard what caused that explosion or the condition of those 2 victims.
A Minnesota child is being treated for serious burns after a house fire in Wadena. It happened around 1 yesterday morning. Police got to the call first, but they were not able to get past the flames to get to the boy. Firefighters arrived and then pulled that boy from the burning home. The child was rushed to Hennepin County Medical Center in Minneapolis. No word on his condition or the cause of that fire. The man accused of stabbing his mother to death in Moorhead is now back in Clay County. 25-year-old James Coley Jr. has been in the Richland County Jail for more than a month during extradition proceedings.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum worked together to approve the extradition, which Coley was fighting. A Moorhead judge yesterday set bond for Coley at $3 million without conditions. Owners of a northern Minnesota restaurant say it could take weeks or even months to make repairs after damage from vandalism. According to their social media, the dining room and kitchen at the historic Brick House restaurant in Roseau were not touched. However, someone destroyed equipment of 6 rooftop furnaces and the walk-in coolers and freezers. Now call police if you have any information about this vandalism. The National 988 Crisis Hotline has been a good response since going online last summer, but now North Dakota lawmakers want people who use it to help pay for it to improve the service, or so they say. It's an idea being talked about in Bismarck, and it would have anyone who calls that line getting charged between 25 and 30 cents per month. First Lincoln Fargo answers the calls, and the state Senate Bill 2149 would establish a tax to expand services for the program that is now a private nonprofit. Lawmakers say the bill would ensure that people answering the phone calls would be paid livable wages. North Dakota lawmakers are also trying to come up with options to reduce taxes, including property taxes. One idea is to limit how much towns have to contribute to school funding and increase the state's portion. The measure would also freeze property taxes for people 65 and up at the most recent rate. This bill has been seen by many as a main challenge to Governor Doug Burgum's income tax reduction bill, which would eliminate income tax for about 60% of North Dakotans. North Dakota lawmakers are also introducing what many are calling a controversial bill. House Bill 2199 would change the definition of gender to now mean an individual's sex as determined at birth. It would require all pronouns used by organizations that receive state funding to reflect that definition of gender, and would fine any person or entire organization in violation $1,500. The Senate Judiciary Committee voted unanimously to give this bill a do not pass recommendation. Fargo street crews have been up all night deep cleaning those downtown streets. Yeah, and if your car was parked on one of those streets on a north-south street and it was in the way, it's probably not there anymore. It was towed. Crews will do the same on those east-west avenues probably sometime tonight. And you could see delays on parts of busy Moorhead streets today and tomorrow as city crews do some tree work. Forestry workers are pruning branches on 8th Street from Main to 12th Avenue South. That will involve the right southbound lane. Trees are being trimmed to raise the canopy for pedestrian and vehicle clearance. With winter in full swing, many people are trying to take to the lakes and ponds for some fresh air and outdoor fun, but those activities come with a warning.
There's one reason why. A tractor, you just saw it, that was clearing snow for an event near Stillwater, Minnesota, fell through the ice just last weekend.
Now, experts say you should check ice thickness every 20 to 40 feet and should not walk on it at all unless there's at least 4 inches of ice or 12 inches if you want to take a truck or trailer out onto it.
Yeah, good advice.
All right, take a look at what they hope is the world's largest pizza. It's going on at the Los Angeles Convention Center. People are putting together a pie that's more than 14,000 square feet.
It just keeps going
We
and
haven't
going
seen the edges
and
yet.
going.
Wow.
Yeah, that crust is going to be a little chewy. Anyway, that's enough for 68,000 slices. Once finished, it'll be 13,000 pounds of dough, 49,000 pounds of sauce, 8,800 pounds of cheese, and 630,000 chunks of pepperoni. It's such a big number. I was reading it and going, that can't be right. But
That's a big pie.
that,
You
like
need
a
a-
big pizza pie, that's amore.
Yeah, that's what that really is. That's
Yeah.
amore. That was such a great catch. I love that. We love pizza.
Thanks for joining us.
Take care, everybody. See you next time.